Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel SFDC Panther. This is Amit, and in this video we are going to work what merge conflict is and how to resolve that merge conflict. Here is a simple diagram which shows how and when merge conflict happens. For an example, let's say that we have a product which we can say that version 1 which is live and our customers are using it successfully. Now we have got some requirements to change to add few features into our product and to modify some files into the existing product. There are two developers, John and Bob, who are working on the feature. That is, John is working on feature 2.1 and Bob is working on feature 2.2. In both the features, there is a file called services.html, and this file has been modified by both John and Bob. Now, when they are trying to merge their code with the branch, we can say for all the versions we can refer as a feature branches. So we can also say that this is a feature branch 2.2 and this is a feature branch 2.1. Whenever they are trying to merge their code in another branch, that is a 2.0, then there will merge a merge conflict will happen. Why this merge conflict will happen? Because the both developers have modified services.html file, and now this system or system GIT will compare these two files and will get to know that this file has been modified by both the developers. Now which file we need to consider, and in our case there we need to have the concatenation of both the files. Then any of the developers, here consider Bob, is resolving the merge conflict and pushing to the main branch, that is our version 3.0. So this is how, this is a very simple diagram which illustrate that when merge conflict happens. Again, you have two different branches and both the developers has modified the same files, committed their changes into the local repository or into the remote repo, and at the time of merge, whenever they are trying to merge their changes into the same branch or into a different branch, we can also say that if this 2.2 is going to merge with 2.1, then also the merge conflict is going to happen, because in that case also the file has been modified by the both developers. Now let's quickly see how we can get into a merge conflict situation and how we can resolve that. So we are in the folder, we are in our project repository, Panther project, where we are working in our previous videos, and then we have these different files inside our branches. So let's quickly see in which branch actually our cursor is pointing. Okay, so it is, we are in master branch. So what we are going to do is we are going to add a new file here. So let's quickly add a new file here, and we can say that this is the master branch, and I'm going to add a file called merge.txt. Now you can see that we have a new file here, merge.txt, and if you open that, there is a simple line that we just added from our command line. Now let's commit this change into the system or into our local repository. So we will say that git commit, and we wanted to provide a message, and we will say, okay, let's quit this. By default I try and hit enter. So we are going to say here this is the initial commit for conflict, we can say that conflict, yeah, and hit enter. Now we have committed these changes into our local repository. We are not going to push these changes into the master branch as of now. Now let's quickly create a new branch. We will say that git checkout -b, as we wanted to create a new branch, and we will say that merge branch. Now we are switched into our merge branch, and in the merge branch, if we see that still we are able to see, okay, if we try to list, okay, let's quickly see where and in which branch our cursor is actually pointing. Okay, what, okay, there is a typo mistake. We are in merger branch, that is actually our child branch, we can say. So now let's quickly see what what all files we do have inside this. So inside this file we have this merge.txt file as well. So now we are going to modify this file merge.txt. To modify this file, we will say that this is append in the existing file. Now we have, and we wanted to append this into the merge.txt. Now we have modified this file, and if you wanted to see, just quickly, and you can see that there is a new line inside the same file. Now we need to add this, so we are going to add this into the existing staging area, and then commit with a message. We will say that child branch, and now we have committed all the changes. So if you see GIT status, we have nothing on the merge branch, we don't have anything. Now let's clear the screen and check out to the master branch. So whenever we wanted to merge a branch with another branch, so what we need to do is we need to be on that branch in which branch we wanted to merge some other branch. So for example, we wanted to merge a branch with our master branch. So what we need to do is we need to be on the master branch. So that is why we just check into our master branch, and then after checking into the master branch, now we will try to execute the command, that is git merge, and we need to see which branch our is. So we are going to say, okay, before modifying this, trying to merge, let's quickly modify our merge branch as well, our merge file, before we try to merge this file. So we will say that this is another append, and again we are going to say this is in which file we wanted to do, so it is merge.txt. Now we have modified this file. To make sure that we have modified, okay, we are able to see that this is the content of our master branch that we did, and this is also the content of our master branch. Because we did not merge our both the branches, the content that we applied or that we changed into our child branch is not here as of now. Now we need to commit this change into the local repo. So let's quickly add and commit, and we will say that added new line here. Now we committed. If we see the status, we have nothing. We are just getting that our branch is ahead of our origin master remote branch. Now we need to execute the command for merging our merger branch. So this is our branch that we wanted to merge with our master branch. So what we need to do is we need to execute a command called git merge, and then put the name of our branch, which branch we actually want to merge with master branch. If we hit enter, boom, a conflict happens. If you see auto merging, this is the file where the conflict happens. What it is saying that automatic merge failed, fix conflict, and then commit the result. Now we need to fix the conflict. So how we can fix the conflict? So if we see, before fixing that, let's quickly check the status of our what status we have is. Now you can see on master branch we are ahead of two commits that we were also able to see in our previous status as well, and we have unmerged path. So now we have either we can fix or we can and run commit command, or we need to use git merge abort toward the merge, and if we don't want to merge the content of both the branches, and it will let us know that this is the file that has been modified in both the branches. And if you have more than one files, you will able to see the list of all the files under this under here, like both branches has modified the same files. And now what we need to do is, so let's quickly try to see what content we have inside this merge.txt file. So to see the content in the command prompt itself, we can use a command called cat, and then put the name of our file. If you hit enter, you can see that this is the content that we do have. Now if you see that we have got some unwanted changes here in the file, and you can consider this equal lines as a divider of our merge, and at the top that you can see the head, and below you can see that above this line and below this headline, this is the content that we made the change into our current branch where we are in, and below this equal line and above this merger branch, this is the content that we modified into our child branch, which branch actually we are merging with. So what we need to do is, now we need to edit this file, because we can resolve the conflict only by editing the file. So we need to edit this file, and let's quickly remove these unwanted changes that we don't want, and after removing this, let's save this. What we need to do is, now we need to say GIT status, and after doing this, what we need to do is we need to add the file into the staging area and then commit, and we can say that conflict resolved. Now we have committed this into the master branch. If we again try to execute for merging our branches, if you try to remove, you can see that already up to date. So while we execute this command for the first time, it will tell us that this file has been modified in both the branches where the conflict has happened, and rest of the file is either identical or new files in the feature branch that we are actually merging with our current branch, or we have merged those into our master branch if there were no changes into the current branch, that is master in our case. Now we have resolved the conflict. We can use git push -u, and we wanted to push this to the upstream, that is our origin, and then after that we need to give the branch name. We wanted to say as a branch master. So once we will hit this command, we will execute this command. Now we will see that we are successfully able to push the updated code into our master branch. Now if you see here, so let's quickly see our remote branch. If we see and refresh this page to see either we have got that file here or not. So we have got this merge conflict, and the latest commit that we committed in that branch is conflict resolved. Now even if you wanted to see all the commits here, whatever the commits we have made here, you will see all the commits that we made into the local system. And now that commit that we resolved the conflict, that was in our local system, in our local repository. Now if we have some if we have some changes that we did not committed into our local system, or if we have some changes that we committed into the remote system and we wanted to pull into the local system, so how the error comes and how we can resolve that. So let's quickly add a new file here. We will say that this is a new file, and I'm going to name it as let's say that remote.txt. okay, even we did not go like this command was not because this was the error, we had a typo mistake, but we have got that file, that is remote.txt. Now we can update this, so we can update the content. So we can say that this is the appended line, and we can say that remote.txt, just to add a new line into our file. Now if we run the status check, we will see that this is a file that we just added. And again, let's try to add a file in our master branch, so in our remote master branch, because we are in child master branch, we are working in the master branch in our remote system. So to create a file, what we need to do is let's quickly click on the add sign and then click on new file. So we will say that remote new.txt, and we can say that this is the file created in remote branch. So now if you wanted to give the commit message, I just add a new file in which branch we actually are trying to commit this in the master branch. Let's commit the change. Now we have created a new file, and that is remote new.txt. If we get back here into our local system, that file is not here. And remember that in our previous video we learned that whenever we are trying to make any changes into our local system, we need to make sure that we are pulling the updated data from the remote. So first that we need to do is we need to pull the data from the remote, and then we need to make the changes into the local repository. And before we are pulling, you can see that we have a untracked file. We did not added or committed this file into the local repository. And without committing, I'm just trying to pull the data from the origin master branch. And what message we are getting, either we are successfully able to get the file or not. So you can see that we are successfully able to get the file, that is remote new, and we are not getting any kind of error. And even if you see GIT status, we have got this remote file, that is remote.txt. So this is why I did to show you that whenever we make any changes or we try to make any changes into our local system, we need to make sure that we are either ahead from our branch, or we can say that either we are behind from the remote branch. So if we execute GIT status, your branch is up to date with the master. We did not added any we did not commit it. I just wanted to add this just to show you one thing, and then we can wrap up this video. So GIT commit, and we can say that remote branch added a file. We can say that local repo added a file. So we just committed, and again if you execute status command, sorry, there is a typo mistake. If we execute status command, okay, you can see here is a command that we just executed, and we are getting that our branch is ahead of our master remote branch by one commit. Let's don't push any changes into the master branch. Try to make the change in the same file and try to edit this into our remote system. So I'm just going to copy this line and going to add it again and again. I'm just committing the changes. So now we have got this, and that means we have committed a new commit. We have made a file change in our remote system. Again, if we execute GIT status, you can see our branch is ahead of master branch by one commit. Okay, and if we try to use GIT push, let's quickly try to use GIT push, and we will say that we wanted to go upstream, and then in which branch we actually wanted to go is in master branch. And now let's see what message we are getting here. Now again we are getting rejected. That means there is a conflict happened, failed to push some reference to the location of our remote branch, and here it is giving us some hints. Either we need to use GIT fetch or we need to use GIT pull, because we made some changes into the remote system and those changes are not available into our local system. So again we need to use the pull command from the master branch or from the related branch, which branch we are actually working and trying to make the changes. Now we have got, and now we can try to push the changes, and our changes will be available in our master branch and whatever the file we have added here. So you can see that we have got a remote txt here, and if we go to the files, we will be able to see that remote.txt file into our master branch as well. So you can see that here is the remote.txt and the commit that we just committed into the local system. And in the commit section you can get all the commits, and even you can, if you see in the config resolved file, commit, you will be able to see that which file we edited and what has been added, either we deleted or what we did here. So this is how you can resolve your conflict if you get into the conflict, because merge conflict is the most common problem that every developer gets into. and most of the developers are not familiar with how to resolve that merge conflict with the help of our command prompt to see what file has been added or what file has been modified by the both branches and what are the exact changes that had been modified. So again, you will get some unusual lines, and equal line will be a divider for you. So let me open up PDF page that we can show you here. So you will get something like this. This is a head and this is a divider for your conflict, and you will get this like so you can see here this is, so whatever you will get between these two, here you will get the changes, here you will get the changes of current branch, and here you will get the changes of, we can just copy and paste here. So here you can get the changes of the branch that you are merging with the current branch. So these are the three unusual changes, or we can say that unusual lines, unexpected lines you will get, and these lines will definitely going to help you that these are the changes which has been modified in the both the branches in the same file. And why these are useful, because let's say that a developer worked on these files and both the developers are not available. You will not be able to easily identify that which line has been added by which developer if you are not if GIT system is not adding these lines for us. So these lines are for the we can say that for comfortable merging for us, and we can easily identify the difference between the files which has been made. So this is it for this video. See you soon, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put down into the comment section. Thank you.